In a world where hope often seems out of reach, Luis and his daughter, Sophia, found a glimmer of it in the unlikeliest of places, a bankrupt restaurant. While the restaurant was up for sale, the owner generously allowed them to stay there, offering a small sanctuary amidst their struggles. Every day, Luis and Sophia would enjoy a meal from this place, a symbol of kindness and resilience. However, everything took an unexpected turn when Luis discovered the true extent of the owner's predicament. Luis, burdened by his struggles, could never have anticipated what he was about to witness. As he ventured into the restaurant's alley one fateful day, he encountered a scene that would forever change his outlook. What started as a simple act of kindness quickly spiraled into a profound revelation about hope, despair, and the power of human connection. Join us as we unfold this touching story that starts with a flicker of joy and ends with an unexpected twist that will leave you deeply moved. If you are not subscribed, I recommend you subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss any videos. The proprietor of a once thriving restaurant, now ensnared in the dire grip of bankruptcy, had extended an unexpected gesture of kindness by allowing a destitute man and his young daughter to reside within the vacant establishment while it lingered unsold. Little did the owner know the astonishing resilience and tenacity that this beggar, Luis, embodied. One fateful day, while the owner made an unannounced visit, he was taken aback by the stark reality of Luis's life. Luis, a figure of quiet perseverance, was seated on the curbside, waiting for his daughter to emerge from school. He had deliberately chosen a less conspicuous side street, deliberately distancing himself from the main exit in an attempt to shield himself from prying eyes. It was a place where other parents typically congregated, their presence a testament to a world that seemed indifferent to his struggles. Luis felt a profound sense of alienation. If only they could grasp the enormity of my struggle, he thought, his heart heavy with unspoken sorrow. If they understood the relentless effort I am putting forth to alter our fate, they wouldn't regard me with such scornful gazes. Lost in the maze of his turbulent thoughts, Luis reflected on the harshness of his circumstances. He wrestled with the nagging feeling that perhaps he wasn't exerting enough effort, or that there might be unexplored avenues yet to discover. The weight of despair was momentarily interrupted by a burst of sweet, vibrant energy. "Dad, I'm here. You have no idea how much I have to share with you." Sophia's exuberant voice sliced through the melancholy. She approached with an infectious smile, her excitement palpable. "I learned so much today. My teacher praised me and said I was exceptionally bright." Her words flowed in a joyous stream, each syllable brimming with the exuberance of youth. Luis's face, momentarily shrouded in the gloom of his worries, was instantly illuminated by the radiant happiness of his daughter. "Tell me everything, my love, but let's keep moving or we'll miss lunch," he urged gently, taking her backpack with a tender gesture. They ambled down the street together, the warmth of their bond momentarily easing the burden of their daily trials. Luis listened with rapt attention as Sophia animatedly recounted her day. Their conversation meandered until they arrived at the familiar side alley of Armando Navarro's restaurant, a refuge that had become a beacon of solace amid their ongoing hardships. The restaurant, with its familiar, comforting presence, stood as a sanctuary in their turbulent lives, a symbol of fleeting respite amidst their unrelenting struggles. Armando, a man in his mid-50s, whose face often bore an unyielding seriousness, possessed a heart as expansive as his imposing physique. Despite his stern demeanor, his compassion was boundless, especially towards those who struggled. As was customary, a modest congregation of homeless individuals huddled in the alley, eagerly awaiting the day's meal. Luis and Sophia, accustomed faces in this gathering, were greeted warmly by some of the regulars as they made their way to the storage door, where Armando orchestrated the distribution of steaming pots of food. The rich, tantalizing aroma of the meal wafted through the air, offering a brief respite from their harsh realities. "Hello, Luis, Sophia. How are you both today?" "You've arrived just in time. I've just replenished the pots." Armando greeted them with a nod, his voice gruff but kind. "We're doing well. Thanks to your generosity, Mr. Armando," Luis replied, his voice tinged with heartfelt appreciation. "Your donations mean more to us than you can imagine. I honestly don't know how I'd manage to provide for Sofia without your help." Armando waved off the thanks with a dismissive gesture. "There's no need to keep thanking me, Luis. Helping out should be a common duty, but unfortunately, most people choose to turn a blind eye to those in need." With the pot of food in hand, Luis and Sofia settled into their usual spot in the alley, enjoying their meal amid the camaraderie of their fellow recipients. Sofia's chatter filled the space as they ate, her vibrant energy a stark contrast to the surroundings. As they neared the end of their meal, Armando made his way over and took a seat beside Luis, an unusual weariness evident in his posture. While it was common for Armando to join them for a casual chat, this time he seemed unusually downcast and fatigued. Luis, sensing a shift in his friend's mood, couldn't help but feel a surge of concern. "Is everything all right, Armando? You look troubled." "Is there an issue with the restaurant or something with your daughter?" he inquired, his voice filled with genuine worry. Armando hesitated, his gaze dropping to the ground before he began to speak. "Luis, things aren't looking good. I'm drowning in financial troubles. The number of customers has dropped significantly over the past few months, and the debts are mounting. If the situation doesn't improve soon, I fear I might have to shut down and sell the restaurant." His voice trembled with a mixture of desperation and heartache, reflecting the gravity of his situation. The weight of Armando's words hung heavily in the air, adding a new layer of poignancy to the otherwise routine exchange. Luis, deeply moved by his friend's plight, felt a pang of empathy and resolved to find a way to support him in his time of need. Luis sat in contemplative silence, letting Armando's distressing words sink in. The restaurant was more than just a place where he and Sofia could find a meal. It represented a beacon of hope, a tangible manifestation of compassion in a world that often seemed devoid of it. "We can't let this happen," Luis finally said, his voice firm and resolute. "There has to be a way to turn things around. After all the years this place has been a sanctuary for so many, it can't just close its doors now." Armando's shoulders slumped in a gesture of weariness and near defeat. "I'm at a loss, Luis. I've exhausted all possible avenues, promotions, discounts, you name it, but nothing seems to attract more patrons. With the current economic climate, people are cutting back on dining out," he confessed, his voice tinged with a sense of helplessness. Luis, his eyes reflecting a steadfast determination, leaned forward. "Mr. Armando, you've been there for us when we needed it the most. Surely there's something we can do to give back. Let's brainstorm some ideas and see if there's a new angle we haven't explored yet. I'm committed to finding a solution, no matter how daunting it seems." The sincerity in Luis's voice was palpable, even though he had no clear strategy in mind. His resolve to confront the situation head-on was unmistakable. Armando, moved by Luis's genuine offer of assistance, despite his struggles, managed a faint smile. "Your readiness to help, despite your challenges, is deeply touching. Although I'm not sure how you could make a difference, your support is a source of hope in these dark times." Armando, who had faced the shattering reality of losing everything unexpectedly, understood the deep despair that came with such a loss. His eyes conveyed a profound sadness intertwined with an empathetic understanding of Luis's struggles. The depth of their shared hardships bridged a connection that transcended mere words. Intrigued by Luis's compassion, Armando encouraged him to share more about his past. "You've never shared much about how you ended up in this situation. What exactly led to your current circumstances?" he asked gently. Luis took a deep breath, his gaze drifting to the distant memories of a time when his life seemed different. "I used to work in advertising," he began, his voice carrying a mix of nostalgia and pain. It was a field I was passionate about, full of creativity and strategy. I excelled in my role, but the company couldn't withstand the economic downturn. Clients cut back on their spending, and eventually we had to close. I was one of the last to be let go, clinging to the hope that things would improve. The last day at the office remains etched in my memory, the shock on my colleagues' faces, the collective sense of disbelief and sorrow. It was a moment that starkly illustrated the fragility of stability and the harsh reality of sudden change. As Luis recounted his story, the gravity of his past struggles became clear, adding a new layer of depth to his commitment to helping Armando. The shared understanding of hardship and the desire to support each other forged a powerful bond between them. The weeks that followed were nothing short of a relentless nightmare. Luis continued, his voice cracking with the weight of his memories. I searched tirelessly every day, hoping for a job that would never come. With each passing day, our rent fell further behind, our savings dwindled to nothing, and then, as if fate itself conspired against us, we faced the ultimate blow. We were evicted. He paused, his eyes clouded with the lingering pain of that traumatic experience. Suddenly, without a job, without a home, and with no idea how to protect my daughter, everything felt utterly hopeless. It was as though I was living in a waking nightmare, every moment fraught with desperation and fear. Luis's gaze wandered into the void, his expression reflecting the profound anguish of those trying times. The stark reality of his struggle was a chilling reminder of how swiftly life can spiral out of control. Armando, absorbed in the gravity of Luis's tale, listened in somber silence, his heart heavy with empathy. "Luis, I am profoundly sorry for everything you've endured," Armando said with heartfelt sincerity. "Your resilience and unwavering determination, despite the immense hardships, are truly remarkable. I genuinely hope that things will turn around for both of us. We'll navigate this storm together, but it requires immense courage and hope." Luis's lips curled into a grateful smile, touched by Armando's words. "Thank you, Armando. Your support has already made a significant difference in our lives. Even though my ability to help might be limited, please know that you can rely on me for anything you need." With that, Luis and Sofia bid farewell to Armando and began their walk back to their makeshift home. Their journey led them to a corner of the city where they had set up a tent under the meager shelter of a small, abandoned house. Despite the harsh realities of their situation, the small tent offered a semblance of protection from the elements of fragile sanctuary amidst the chaos. The house's gate stood ajar, an unspoken invitation, but Luis chose to respect the potential presence of an unknown owner, confining their use to the small, covered patio. The day passed without yielding any additional food, and as nightfall enveloped the city, Luis and Sofia settled into their tent. The quiet of the night was punctuated only by the soothing rhythm of their synchronized breathing and the distant murmur of the city beyond. In the stillness of their humble refuge, there was a fragile comfort in their shared silence, a testament to their enduring bond and the faint flicker of hope that carried them through the darkness. Luis stared up at the tent ceiling, his mind racing with desperate thoughts. "I need to find a way out of this situation for us. There has to be a solution somewhere, and I will find it," he resolved, determined to keep searching for answers despite the overwhelming odds. Sofia, nestled beside him, slept peacefully, her soft breaths a reminder of why he fought so hard. "She's all I have left, and I'm all she has. For her sake, I can't give up," he vowed silently, letting the strength of his resolve guide him into sleep. The night passed quietly, but the stillness of the early morning was shattered by a grating, authoritative voice that cut through the darkness like a knife. "You two, get out of there right now. Get out, or I'll tear down this tent. Did you hear me?" The commanding tone jolted both father and daughter awake. Luis's heart raced as the sudden intrusion shattered their fragile sense of security. Sophia, still groggy and frightened, looked up at her father with wide, anxious eyes. "Dad, what's happening?" "Why are they calling us?" she whispered, her voice trembling with fear. Luis, his anxiety masked by a brave facade, tried to reassure her. "Stay here, Sophia. I'm going to find out what's going on. Don't leave the tent," he instructed, striving to project a calmness he didn't entirely feel. Stepping cautiously outside, Luis was met by the formidable presence of a police officer, the patrol car's red and blue lights casting an eerie glow in the pre-dawn darkness. The officer's stern gaze and rigid posture left no room for leniency. "You're trespassing on this property," the officer declared with unyielding authority. "Given the condition of the gate, it's obvious you're using this space as your own. If you don't leave immediately, I'll call for backup and have you forcibly removed." Luis swallowed hard, struggling to maintain his composure under the intense scrutiny. "We're sorry, officer. We didn't intend to cause any trouble. We just need a place to stay," he pleaded, his voice carrying the weight of his desperation. The officer's expression remained impassive, his resolve as unyielding as his stance. "I understand your predicament, but this is private property. You have no authorization to be here. If you don't leave now, you'll face serious consequences," he said coldly. Luis's heart sank as the reality of their situation hit him. "Where are we supposed to go?" he asked, his voice tinged with desperation. The officer's response was curt and unfeeling. "That's not my concern. You're on your own," he said, turning on his heel and heading back to his patrol car. As the officer drove away, the crushing weight of their predicament bore down on Luis. He turned back to the tent, where Sophia awaited with fearful eyes. He knew he had to act quickly, but the thought of where to go next filled him with dread. Every step forward seemed to lead them further into uncertainty, but for Sophia's sake, he had to find a way to navigate through the darkness that loomed over their lives. Luis felt an overwhelming sense of helplessness as he absorbed the gravity of their situation. The reality of their forced departure from the only semblance of security they had known was a crushing blow. He returned to the tent, his heart heavy with the task of breaking the news to Sophia. The complexities of their predicament were far greater than he had anticipated, yet they had no choice but to leave the small haven that had offered them temporary refuge. The patrol car remained a silent, unyielding sentinel, its presence a constant reminder of their precarious position as they packed their meager belongings. Sophia, clutching her father's hand with an unspoken plea for reassurance, looked up at him with wide, anxious eyes. "Where will we go, Dad?" she asked, her voice trembling with uncertainty. Luis, fighting to mask his fear and desperation, offered her a comforting smile. "We'll find somewhere else, sweetheart. We always manage to find a way. We just need to keep searching," he said, though his own heart was plagued with doubt. They packed up their belongings with deliberate care, stepping out into the crisp, cold morning air. With no clear plan or destination, they began their uncertain journey, wandering in search of a new place to call home. As the dawn's light began to filter through the horizon, Luis clung to a fragile thread of hope. They had overcome countless obstacles before, and he vowed they would confront this one with the same resilience and courage that had carried them through so many trials. For Sophia's sake, he was resolved to keep fighting for a brighter future. As they trudged along, Luis's mind was consumed by a powerful, driving thought. This situation was intolerable, and he was not willing to accept it. The realization struck him with an intensity that turned his initial shock into a fierce determination. Armando's restaurant, which had been a lifeline for Sophia's nourishment, was now at risk. Luis's resolve hardened as he considered the impact of losing such vital support. He knew he had to act, and the only option was to reach out to Armando, driven by both curiosity and concern. Arriving at the restaurant, Luis approached Armando, his voice tinged with urgency. "Armando, what's the story with that sign? I can't believe you're giving up on the restaurant." I know you too well to see you surrender like this." Armando's eyes were a reflection of his inner turmoil, a blend of resignation and profound sadness. The financial strain on the restaurant had become insurmountable, leaving him with no viable alternatives. His demeanor was one of weary acceptance, the weight of his predicament evident in every line of his face. Selling the restaurant had become the only feasible option, and the prospect of closing this chapter was a devastating blow to a man whose generosity had been a beacon of hope for so many. "I'm deeply sorry for what you're going through and for everyone else affected. Unfortunately, I've exhausted all my options, but I can assure you that this week, you'll still have food. I need to leave for a week, but my daughter will take over and make sure you're provided for," Armando said, his voice heavy with regret. The gravity of Armando's words hit Luis like a wave, leaving him overwhelmed by a storm of worries. The fear of losing their food source and the bleak future of Armando's restaurant mingled with a sense of impending despair. The weight of these concerns pressed heavily on his heart. What if we lose access to food? What if everything deteriorates even further? These questions churned in his mind, fueling his anxiety. Amid this emotional tempest, a glimmer of inspiration pierced through the fog of Luis's desperation. His previous career in advertising, once a distant memory, suddenly became a beacon of potential salvation. "I can leverage my skills. I know I can make a difference," Luis thought, a renewed sense of determination pushing aside his fears. He looked at Armando with newfound intensity, ready to offer a solution. "Armando, I believe I have a plan. Give me this week. Let me use my advertising expertise to draw more customers to the restaurant. In exchange, my daughter and I will stay in the storage room, just somewhere safe to sleep at night," Luis proposed, his voice laced with both hope and urgency. The seriousness of his offer was clear, reflecting his determination to help. Armando, taken aback by the unexpected proposal, took a moment to consider Luis's offer. The restaurant's dire state made the idea of selling seem inevitable, but Luis's offer provided a glimmer of hope. The prospect of someone actively working to turn things around was intriguing. After a brief but intense contemplation, Armando nodded slowly. "All right, Luis, it's a deal. You have a week. If you can bring in more customers and show that there's hope for this place, I'll reconsider selling the restaurant," he agreed, the faintest hint of optimism returning to his voice. Luis's heart swelled with a mix of relief and determination. This opportunity was a lifeline, and he was resolved to seize it. As he prepared to tackle the challenge ahead, he knew that every effort would be a step towards saving not just the restaurant, but also ensuring a brighter future for Sofia and himself. Armando's cautious agreement was both a burden and a beacon of hope for Luis. The weight of the task ahead, a mission to rejuvenate the restaurant and secure a haven for Sofia, pressed heavily on his shoulders. A mix of relief and dread swirled within him as he prepared to undertake the challenge. "Thank you, Armando. I promise I will pour every ounce of effort I have into this. You won't regret giving me this chance," Luis said, his voice laced with sincerity and determination. With a newfound sense of purpose, Luis and Sofia spent the rest of the day with a rare sense of calm, knowing they had a place to stay. As dusk fell, they returned to the restaurant and found the storage room door ajar. Inside, a young woman was arranging a mattress amid the stacks of boxes, a modest but heartfelt gesture that spoke volumes. "Good evening," Luis greeted, his voice tinged with weariness. "I apologize for any inconvenience. You must be Armando's daughter, correct?" The woman looked up, her initial surprise giving way to a warm and inviting smile. "Yes, you must be Luis," she replied, stepping forward with a friendly demeanor. "I'm Victoria, Armando's daughter, and you must be Sofia, right? What a lovely young lady you are." Victoria's voice was soothing, and she bent down to Sofia's level, offering a gentle greeting. Her kindness immediately eased some of the tension, Please come in and make yourselves at home. I've prepared some hot soup to welcome you. I thought you might be hungry after your day. Just give me a moment to get it." In no time, they were sitting on the makeshift mattress, surrounded by boxes, each with a steaming bowl of soup in hand. The aroma of the hearty soup was both comforting and inviting. Louis and Sophia accepted the meal with deep appreciation, savoring the warmth and nourishment it provided. As they enjoyed the soup, Louise took the opportunity to inquire about Armando. "Victoria, how's your father holding up? He mentioned he'd be away for a week. Is there anything specific I should be aware of while he's gone?" Victoria's eyes reflected both concern and resolve. "Dad has been struggling a lot lately. The restaurant situation has been tough, but he's been trying everything he can to keep it afloat. I'm here to help manage things while he's away. It's been a difficult time for all of us, but we're hopeful that things will turn around." Louise nodded, understanding the gravity of their shared struggle. "I appreciate you being here to help. We'll do our best to support each other through this. I have some ideas about how we can attract more customers and get the restaurant back on its feet. It's not much, but it's a start." Victoria's gaze softened with gratitude. "Thank you, Louise. Your support means a lot, not just to Dad, but to me as well. We'll work together to make this happen." As the evening wore on, the simple act of sharing a meal became a moment of connection and hope. The warmth of the soup and the kindness of Victoria offered a glimmer of optimism amid their struggles. Louise and Sophia settled into their new temporary home with a renewed sense of purpose, ready to face the challenges ahead with determination and resilience. Louise's question about Armando's departure was met with Victoria's reassuring confirmation. "He had to leave today, but he made sure to leave me well instructed. He trusts me to manage everything while he's away, and that gives me the confidence I need to keep things running smoothly." Louise nodded appreciatively, recognizing the responsibility Victoria had taken on. "You have the same intelligence and kindness as your father. I'm sure you'll handle everything just fine," he said, offering her a warm smile. Victoria's response was a shy, grateful smile of her own. "Thank you, Louise. It means a lot to hear that. By the way, I'm glad you like the soup. I've always enjoyed cooking. It's a way for me to express myself. But my true passion is music. Cooking speaks to the soul, but music, for me, speaks to the heart." Louis's interest was piqued, and he leaned in slightly, his eyes reflecting admiration. "Music has that power, doesn't it? It connects us to something greater, something beyond words. I've always loved music myself. I used to play the piano, guitar, and a bit of violin." Sophia, though quiet, watched the exchange with wide, curious eyes. She observed the rare sight of her father engaged in a lively conversation, his face illuminated by a genuine smile. It was a stark contrast to the worry and stress that had become so familiar in their lives. The scene brought a sense of warmth and normalcy, a welcome reprieve from their recent hardships. Victoria's face lit up with excitement at the shared connection over music. "Really? That's wonderful. Music has always been a huge part of my life. I've been playing the piano since I was a child, and I sing in a local band. Maybe we could share some music sometime. I'd love to hear you play." Louise's smile broadened. "I'd like that. It would be nice to have a break from all the worry and just enjoy some music. Let's plan for that. I haven't played much recently, but I'd be happy to dust off my old instruments and play a few tunes." The conversation continued, with Louise and Victoria sharing stories about their favorite music and the ways it had touched their lives. Victoria spoke about her experiences performing in various venues, and Louise reminisced about the joy of playing music for his daughter and the solace it had brought him during difficult times. As the evening wore on, the initial anxiety Louise had felt about their new situation began to fade. The warm soup and Victoria's company provided a sense of comfort and hope. Luis noticed how Sophia's demeanor had softened. Her usual apprehension seemed to ease as she listened to the engaging conversation and enjoyed the meal. Victoria's hospitality extended beyond the soup. She made sure they were comfortable in the storage room, which had been transformed into a cozy temporary home with a makeshift bed and some basic amenities. She even offered Luis and Sophia additional supplies to make their stay more comfortable. "We'll make sure you have everything you need while you're here," Victoria said, her tone sincere. "I'll also help you with anything you might need to get settled. And don't hesitate to let me know if there's anything specific you're missing." Luis was deeply moved by Victoria's generosity. "Thank you, Victoria. Your kindness means more than you can imagine. We're grateful for everything you're doing. I hope I can return the favor somehow, whether it's helping with the restaurant or supporting you in any way I can." Victoria's eyes shone with a mix of appreciation and warmth. "Your offer is more than enough, Luis. I believe in the power of kindness and community. We're all here to help each other through tough times. And who knows, maybe together we can find new ways to make this place thrive." The evening ended with a sense of shared understanding and optimism. Luis and Sophia settled into their temporary quarters, feeling a newfound sense of security and hope. The small victories of the day, the warmth of the soup, the connection with Victoria, and the promise of a potential solution offered a glimmer of hope amid their challenges. Luis lay in the makeshift bed, reflecting on the day's events. Despite the obstacles they faced, he felt a renewed sense of determination. He was ready to put his skills to work and do everything he could to help save Armando's restaurant. For Sophia's sake, and the hope of a better future, he was determined to make the most of this opportunity. As he closed his eyes, the soft sound of Victoria's piano playing drifted through the storage room, filling the space with a soothing melody. It was a reminder that even in the darkest times, there was still beauty and hope to be found. Luis drifted off to sleep with a sense of peace, knowing that he and Sophia had found not only a temporary refuge, but also a renewed sense of hope and purpose. As the conversation flowed naturally between Luis and Victoria, Sophia listened with wide eyes and a thoughtful expression. The warmth and kindness exchanged between her father and Victoria were palpable, and the connection they had made was heartening. Eventually, the conversation lulled, and Sophia seized the moment to voice her innocent observation. "Dad, Victoria would make a great mom." "Don't you think?" Sophia said, her voice filled with genuine admiration and curiosity. "Sophia, for heaven's sake." "Victoria, I'm so sorry. She's just a child. You know how kids are," Luis stammered, his words tumbling out as he struggled to find the right way to diffuse the situation. Luis and Victoria shared a moment of laughter, the tension easing as they acknowledged the innocence of Sophia's remark. Victoria's warm and reassuring demeanor helped to smooth over the brief moment of discomfort, adding a touch of humanity to their encounter. Her understanding response and heartfelt laughter helped to diffuse the awkwardness and create a sense of camaraderie. As the evening wore on, Victoria decided it was time to say her goodbyes. "It was nice to meet both of you," she said, standing up with a friendly smile. "I hope you'll make yourselves comfortable here. And remember, if you need anything, just let me know." Luis and Sophia thanked Victoria warmly, their gratitude evident in their expressions. "Thank you for everything, Victoria. We appreciate your kindness," Luis said, his voice sincere. With that, Victoria left the storage room, leaving Luis and Sophia alone in the dim light. The space, though modest, felt more like home with the added comfort of Victoria's hospitality. The mattress they would sleep on was simple, but it was a welcome improvement from the cold and harsh reality they had faced earlier. As they settled onto the mattress, the silence of the storage room was a stark contrast to the lively conversation that had just taken place. Luis and Sophia lay side by side, the faint light filtering through the small windows casting a gentle glow on their faces. The night was peaceful, and the exhaustion from the day's events began to ease away. Luis's mind continued to resonate with the laughter and conversation of the evening. The warmth and kindness they had experienced were a stark contrast to the hardships they had faced recently. Despite the challenges ahead, the brief respite provided by Victoria's hospitality offered a glimmer of hope and comfort. Sophia, nestled close to her father, seemed to find solace in the peaceful environment. Her breathing gradually slowed as she drifted off to sleep, the safety and warmth of their new temporary home wrapping around her like a comforting embrace. Luis watched her for a moment, his heart swelling with love and determination. The sight of his daughter sleeping peacefully was a powerful reminder of why he needed to keep fighting and striving for a better future. As Luis closed his eyes, the sound of distant city life became a soothing backdrop to his thoughts. The challenges they faced were far from over, but for tonight, the comfort of their makeshift home and the kindness of a newfound friend provided a much-needed reprieve. Luis fell asleep with a renewed sense of hope, knowing that tomorrow was a new opportunity to make things better for him and Sophia. As Luis lay in the dimly lit storage room, Sophia's innocent observation hung in the air, making him chuckle despite the somber circumstances. "Dad, I saw how you looked at Victoria. You like her, don't you? There's no point in lying to me." "You looked silly," Sophia said with a tone of straightforward curiosity that only a child could manage. Sophia, however, was not easily deterred. With a mischievous grin, she added, "She likes you too. I can tell. She was all silly with you." Luis was stunned by her observation. Could it be true? The idea seemed too good to be real, a fleeting thought that seemed improbable given their situation. Victoria had shown kindness and warmth, but could she have felt something more? Luis pondered this as he watched Sophia's contented face, her eyes closing as she settled into sleep, leaving him alone with his swirling thoughts. The idea that Victoria might reciprocate his feelings seemed like a distant dream, especially in their current predicament. Luis felt a twinge of hope mixed with skepticism. Maybe it was just Sophia's imagination, fueled by her innocent desire for happiness in their turbulent lives. He wanted to believe it, but the reality of their situation seemed to overshadow any potential for new beginnings. Lost in these reflections, Luis slowly succumbed to exhaustion and drifted into a restless sleep. The following morning, the first light of dawn seeped into the storage room, gently waking Luis and Sophia. Victoria, as vibrant as ever, was already up and about. She had prepared breakfast, a simple yet heartwarming meal that reflected her care and attention. "Good morning," Victoria greeted them with a bright smile as she set the table. The aroma of fresh bread and warm coffee filled the small space, adding a touch of normalcy to their challenging circumstances. Luis and Sophia joined her at the makeshift table, their spirits lifted by the warmth of the meal and Victoria's hospitality. They ate in a comfortable silence, savoring the simple but nourishing food. As they finished their breakfast, Victoria leaned in with a friendly, inquisitive expression. "So, Luis, what are your plans for the restaurant?" she asked, her voice carrying a note of genuine interest. "I know things have been tough, but you mentioned you had some ideas. How do you plan to attract more customers?" Luis took a deep breath, grateful for the opportunity to discuss his plans. "I've been thinking about using my advertising skills to help bring in more business. I know it's a long shot, but if I can create some buzz and attract more customers, it might make a difference. I'm willing to give it my all." Victoria's eyes lit up with encouragement. "That sounds like a great idea. I'm sure your experience will be a valuable asset. My father always said that a fresh perspective can make a huge difference." Luis nodded, feeling a surge of determination. "Thank you, Victoria. Your support means a lot to us. I'll do everything I can to make this work." As the conversation continued, Luis felt a renewed sense of purpose. The prospect of turning things around for the restaurant, coupled with the unexpected kindness of Victoria, provided a glimmer of hope in their otherwise challenging situation. Victoria's genuine curiosity about Luis's plans provided a fresh spark of inspiration. As she and Sophia prepared to leave, Luis felt a renewed sense of purpose. The idea of making a difference for the restaurant, combined with Victoria's kind offer to help, gave him a glimmer of hope. "Do you have any idea what you're going to do to help the restaurant?" "My father said you're good at advertising and might have some ideas about what to do," Victoria asked, her tone sincere and hopeful. Luis took a thoughtful bite of his bread before responding. "I'm still brainstorming, but I think it would help to see the restaurant's interior and assess its current state. Understanding the space and its potential will be crucial for creating an effective advertising campaign." Victoria nodded, her understanding evident. "That makes sense. If you need any help with the layout or any specifics, just let me know. I want to support you in any way I can." Her offer to take Sophia to school was a gesture of both practical support and personal kindness. "I can take Sophia with me, so you can concentrate better and have more time to think about your plans." Luis was deeply moved by her consideration. "Thank you, Victoria. That would be a great help. I'll do my best to come up with something that can make a difference." With that, Victoria and Sophia left the storage room, their departure marked by cheerful waves and warm smiles. Luis watched them go, feeling a mix of gratitude and renewed determination. As he turned his attention to the restaurant, the quiet of the morning offered a serene backdrop to his thoughts. Luis began by examining the space, noting its layout, decor, and overall ambience. He mentally mapped out potential areas for improvement and considered how best to highlight the restaurant's unique features. The challenge ahead was substantial, but Luis was motivated by the thought of making a positive impact. The restaurant had always been a place where people came together, and he wanted to reignite that sense of community and warmth. In the solitude of the morning, with the restaurant's quiet hum as his only company, Luis felt a newfound lightness in his heart. The prospect of not only saving the restaurant, but also of potentially building a deeper connection with Victoria gave him hope. He knew that the road ahead would be tough, but he was determined to give it his all. Luis set to work, devising a plan to attract more customers. He began with brainstorming ideas for promotional campaigns, special events, and community outreach initiatives. His goal was to create a buzz around the restaurant that would draw in new patrons and re-engage the current ones. As he worked, his thoughts occasionally drifted to Victoria's kindness and Sophia's innocent remarks. The idea of a brighter future, both for the restaurant and for his personal life, filled him with a sense of purpose. Luis knew that with effort, creativity, and a bit of luck, he might just turn things around. As he tackled the task at hand, he felt a renewed sense of hope that the challenges they faced could be met with resilience and determination. Luis sensed Victoria's apprehension and took a step closer, his voice soft yet encouraging. "Victoria, everyone starts somewhere. The goal isn't to be perfect, it's to share something real and heartfelt. Your love for music and your passion can resonate with people. If you're nervous, that's okay. Sophia and I will be here to support you." Victoria's eyes met Luis's, searching for reassurance. After a few moments of contemplation, she took a deep breath, her shoulders relaxing slightly. "All right, I'll give it a try, but please be honest with me. If you think I need to work on it, tell me." Luis nodded with a reassuring smile. "Of course, we're in this together." With that, Victoria began to prepare. She took out her guitar and tuned it carefully, her hands shaking slightly. Luis and Sophia settled comfortably on the storage room mattress, their expressions encouraging. Sophia looked at Victoria with wide-eyed curiosity, eager to see what would unfold. As Victoria strummed the first chords, her voice started tentatively. But as she continued, her confidence began to build. The melody filled the small storage room, transforming it into an intimate concert space. The song was simple but filled with emotion, capturing the essence of her connection to music. Louise watched Victoria closely, noting the way her passion and sincerity shone through her performance. Sophia, enchanted by the music, watched with rapt attention. The atmosphere in the storage room felt lighter, infused with the warmth of Victoria's voice. When the song ended, there was a moment of silence. Victoria's face was flushed with a mix of relief and nervousness. Louise broke the silence with genuine applause. "That was beautiful, Victoria. Really, you have something special," Louise said, his tone filled with admiration. "I think this could be just what the restaurant needs. A live music night could bring in more customers and give the place a unique charm." Victoria looked at Louise, a flicker of hope in her eyes. "Do you think so? I've always dreamed of sharing my music with others, but I was too afraid. Could this work?" Louise nodded enthusiastically. "Absolutely. Music has a way of touching people's hearts. If we set up a night where people can come and enjoy live music, it might create a buzz around the restaurant. We could make it a regular event, something that gives people a reason to visit and experience something different." Victoria's face brightened with a newfound determination. "I'll do it. I'll perform at the restaurant. It might be a bit daunting, but I'll give it my all. Thank you for believing in me, Louise." Louise smiled, feeling a renewed sense of optimism. "Thank you for taking this leap. I believe it will make a big difference." The next few days were a whirlwind of preparation. Louise and Victoria worked together to promote the upcoming live music event. Louise designed eye-catching flyers and spread the word through social media and local networks, while Victoria rehearsed diligently, her nerves gradually giving way to excitement. As the day of the event approached, the restaurant's atmosphere began to shift. There was a buzz of anticipation in the air. The prospect of live music added fresh energy to the place, and Louise's advertising efforts seemed to be paying off. On the evening of the first live music night, the restaurant was abuzz with patrons. Victoria, dressed in a simple but elegant outfit, took the stage with a mix of excitement and nerves. As she began to sing, the restaurant filled with the sound of her music, creating an ambience that was both cozy and captivating. Louise watched from the sidelines, a proud smile on his face. Sophia, sitting at a table with a few new friends she had made, seemed to be enjoying the performance immensely. The crowd was engaged, the atmosphere lively, and the restaurant's sense of community had never felt stronger. Victoria's performance was met with enthusiastic applause, and Louise felt a wave of relief and satisfaction. The event not only brought more customers into the restaurant, but also allowed Victoria to share her passion with others. As the night drew to a close, Louise and Victoria exchanged glances filled with mutual respect and gratitude. The restaurant was buzzing with energy, and Louise could see that their efforts were beginning to pay off. "Thank you for taking this chance," Louise said, his voice filled with appreciation. "I think we've started something special here." Victoria, her face glowing with post-performance joy, replied, "Thank you for believing in me and giving me this opportunity. I'm glad we did this." With renewed hope and a sense of accomplishment, Louise and Victoria looked forward to the future, ready to face the challenges ahead with the same determination and passion they had brought to their first successful event. Louise looked at Victoria with a mixture of pride and admiration. "You were amazing, Victoria. Your voice truly has the power to touch people. I knew you had something special, and now I'm even more convinced that this will make a real difference." Sophia, beaming with delight, clapped her hands in excitement. "You were fantastic, Victoria. I knew you'd be great. I can't wait to tell my friends at school about your singing." Victoria's face flushed with happiness as she took in their enthusiastic responses. "Thank you, both of you. Your support means more to me than I can express. I'm excited about the live music night now." Luis, feeling a renewed sense of hope, took a deep breath and looked around the transformed storage room. We've got a good foundation here. I'm sure the live music night will be a hit. Let's make sure everything is ready and keep the momentum going. Victoria nodded, her eyes sparkling with determination. Absolutely. I'll start working on a set list and get everything prepared for the event. I want it to be something that people remember and enjoy. Luis watched as Victoria's enthusiasm grew. Her transformation from a nervous amateur to a confident performer was inspiring. The restaurant had a new spark of life, and so did Victoria. He felt a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that their combined efforts could lead to something wonderful. As they wrapped up their makeshift performance session, Luis and Victoria discussed the details of the upcoming event. They brainstormed ideas for promotional materials, planned the schedule, and made arrangements to ensure everything would run smoothly. The day of the live music night arrived with a buzz of excitement. Luis and Victoria worked diligently to set up the restaurant, creating an inviting atmosphere with dim lighting, cozy seating, and a small stage for Victoria's performance. The anticipation was palpable, and the restaurant started to fill up with patrons eager to experience the unique event. Luis felt a mix of nerves and excitement as he watched the crowd settle in. Victoria, dressed in a simple yet elegant outfit, took a deep breath and stepped onto the stage. The restaurant quieted in anticipation as she began to sing. Her voice, now confident and expressive, filled the space with warmth and emotion. The audience responded with enthusiastic applause and cheers, clearly captivated by her performance. Luis observed the scene with pride, seeing the restaurant come to life in a way he had hoped for. The event was a success, and the restaurant buzzed with energy and conversation. After the performance, Victoria, flushed and happy, joined Luis and Sophia at their table. "Thank you, Luis. It was incredible. I felt so alive up there. I never imagined it would feel like this." Luis smiled, his eyes reflecting his admiration. "You did a fantastic job. The crowd loved it, and we've got something special here. This is just the beginning." Sophia nodded in agreement. "I told you you'd be amazing. Can we do this again sometime?" Victoria laughed, her heart light with happiness. "Definitely. I'd love to make this a regular thing. And thank you, Sophia, for your encouragement." As the night drew to a close, Luis felt a deep sense of accomplishment. The restaurant had been rejuvenated, and Victoria had found a new avenue to share her passion. The collaboration between Luis's advertising skills and Victoria's musical talent created a unique and vibrant atmosphere that drew people in. Walking home with Sophia, Luis felt a profound sense of gratitude for the unexpected turn of events. The challenges they faced led to new opportunities and connections. He realized that while the road ahead might still be uncertain, they were equipped with newfound hope and determination to face whatever came next. And so, with the restaurant thriving and Victoria's music resonating with the community, Luis and his daughter embraced the future with optimism and excitement, ready to take on the next chapter of their journey together. As the day wore on, the restaurant buzzed with life and excitement. The challenge to guess the song titles became a delightful game for the patrons, adding an extra layer of fun to their dining experience. Victoria's performance drew more and more people in, each person eager to be a part of the lively atmosphere. Luis, with his sleeves rolled up and a determined look on his face, moved deftly between the kitchen and the dining area. His multitasking skills were on full display as he prepared dishes, served customers, and managed the flow of the evening. The restaurant's new energy was palpable, and Luis couldn't help but feel a surge of pride as he watched the transformation unfold. Sophia, with her bright eyes and infectious enthusiasm, assisted Luis wherever she could. She poured drinks, cleared tables, and even helped with small tasks in the kitchen. Her presence was a blend of youthful energy and earnest dedication that warmed the hearts of everyone who saw her. In between her songs, Victoria mingled with the guests, chatting with them and sharing her passion for music. She moved gracefully through the room, her smile radiant as she thanked customers for their support and engaged in friendly conversations. Her connection with the audience was evident, and it only deepened the positive atmosphere that enveloped the restaurant. At one point, Louise managed to take a short break and joined Victoria at the edge of the stage. They exchanged a few words, their voices low but filled with warmth and excitement. "Victoria, you're amazing up there." "The crowd loves you," Louise said, his eyes reflecting his admiration. Victoria, catching her breath from her last song, smiled back at him. "Thank you, Louise. I never imagined it would be like this. It feels incredible to see everyone enjoying the music and participating in the challenge." Louise's gaze lingered on Victoria, a mix of admiration and something deeper in his eyes. "I'm glad we decided to do this. It's been a fantastic day, and I couldn't have done it without you." As the evening continued, the restaurant's success was evident. The sound of laughter, music, and lively conversations filled the space, creating a warm and welcoming environment that had been missing for too long. By the end of the night, the restaurant had exceeded Louise's expectations. The new approach had not only brought in customers but had also created a sense of community and connection that was deeply fulfilling. Victoria's performance had been a resounding success, and the feedback from patrons was overwhelmingly positive. Louise and Victoria shared a quiet moment of reflection as they began to clean up. The restaurant had transformed into a place of joy and creativity, and they both felt a profound sense of accomplishment. "Tonight was a success," Louise Victoria said, her voice filled with satisfaction. "I'm so glad we did this. It feels like the beginning of something special." Louise nodded, his heart full of gratitude and optimism. "It is. Thank you for everything you've done. You've brought a new life to this place." Sophia, tired but happy, joined them with a beaming smile. "I had so much fun today. Can we do this again tomorrow?" Victoria laughed, her eyes sparkling. "I'd love to. Let's make this a regular thing. And Sophia, thank you for all your help today. You were fantastic." As they wrapped up the night and prepared to close the restaurant, Louise couldn't help but feel a renewed sense of hope and excitement. The journey ahead was still uncertain, but with Victoria's talent, Sophia's enthusiasm, and his dedication, he knew they had the potential to build something truly special. With a final look around the now vibrant restaurant, Louise felt a deep sense of contentment. The challenges they had faced had led to a new beginning, and as he prepared to head home with Sophia, he looked forward to the future with renewed optimism and determination. Armando's eyes widened as he took in the bustling scene inside the restaurant. The transformation was nothing short of miraculous. The once somber establishment had become a vibrant hub of activity, filled with the lively chatter of satisfied customers and the melodious strains of Victoria's voice. "Wow, Louise, I can hardly believe my eyes," Armando said, his voice a mix of astonishment and gratitude. "The place looks incredible. You've turned it around." Louise, with his characteristic humility, merely shrugged with a smile. "It's been a team effort. Victoria's music has brought a new energy, and Sophia's been a huge help too." As Armando made his way through the restaurant, he saw Victoria at the makeshift stage, her performance captivating the audience. Her once uncertain voice now carried with a confidence and poise that had won over the crowd. Armando watched with pride, recognizing that his daughter had not only found her voice but had also become an integral part of this revival. Victoria, noticing her father's arrival, finished her song and gracefully made her way to him. The reunion was heartfelt. "Dad, I'm so glad you're back. We've missed you." Armando embraced her warmly, his eyes brimming with emotion. "I missed you too, Victoria. I'm so proud of what you've accomplished. This is more than I ever hoped for." Victoria's eyes sparkled with pride and happiness as she looked around at the bustling restaurant. "It's all thanks to Luis. He's done an amazing job. I couldn't have done it without his support and encouragement." Luis, catching Armando's appreciative gaze, felt a wave of satisfaction. The hard work had paid off, and seeing the restaurant thriving was a reward beyond measure. "I'm just glad to have been a part of this. The real credit goes to you and Victoria for bringing back the heart of this place." As the evening progressed, Armando took the time to connect with old and new customers alike. The sense of community and joy was palpable, and he couldn't help but feel a deep sense of fulfillment. The once fading restaurant was now a place of celebration and life, a testament to the power of dedication and collaboration. In a quiet moment, Luis and Armando stood together, observing the lively scene from a corner of the restaurant. "It feels good, doesn't it?" Luis said, his voice filled with contentment. Armando nodded, his gaze reflecting a profound sense of gratitude. "It's more than I could have hoped for. I never thought I'd see the restaurant so full again." "Thank you, Luis. You've truly made a difference." Luis smiled, his heart light with the joy of their shared success. "It's been a pleasure, Armando. I've learned so much from this experience, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to help." The evening ended on a high note, with Victoria and Luis sharing a quiet moment of reflection. The restaurant's success was a result of their hard work and passion, and both felt a deep sense of accomplishment. As they closed up for the night, Sophia, her eyes still bright from the day's excitement, looked up at Luis with a mischievous grin. "So, Dad, are you going to make that silly smile a regular thing now? It's kind of nice seeing you happy." Luis laughed, his heart full. "I think you might be right, Sophia. There's a lot to smile about these days." As they left the restaurant, the night air was crisp and full of promise. Luis, Victoria, and Sophia walked together, their bond strengthened by their shared journey. The future was bright, and the possibilities seemed endless. The restaurant had not only been revived, but had become a place where dreams and passions flourished, and Luis knew that with each new day, they would continue to build on this newfound success. Armando's eyes, still glistening from the earlier emotional moment, softened as he looked at Luis. The gravity of his words reflected a deep sense of appreciation. "Luis, it's not just about saving the restaurant. It's about saving a piece of our lives. You've rekindled something that was on the brink of disappearing." Luis, ever modest, shook his head. "It's been a collective effort. Victoria's talent and Sophia's enthusiasm were crucial. We all came together to make something special." Armando's smile grew as he took in Luis's words. "True, it was a team effort, but you brought the spark back. Your dedication and ideas were the driving force behind this transformation. And seeing Victoria so happy means the world to me." Luis, feeling a warmth from Armando's genuine praise, replied with a thoughtful nod. "I'm glad to see Victoria so fulfilled. It's amazing what happens when people come together with a shared purpose." Armando looked around the storage room, now a symbol of their hard work and success. "I've got to say, I never imagined it would turn out like this. It's not just a restaurant anymore, it's a place where people can come and feel the joy and passion we put into it." Luis smiled, his eyes reflecting the satisfaction of their accomplishments. "It's a reflection of all the hard work we've put in, and I believe this is just the beginning. There's so much potential here, and I'm excited to see where it goes." Armando extended his hand, a gesture of sincere camaraderie. "Here's to many more successes and to the new chapter we're starting together. Thank you, Luis, for everything." Luis took Armando's hand with a firm shake. "Thank you, Armando. It's been an honor to be part of this journey." As they exchanged these heartfelt thanks, The air was filled with a sense of accomplishment and camaraderie. The restaurant, now a symbol of their shared efforts, had become a beacon of hope and renewal. And as Victoria and Sophia joined them, the bond between the four of them was palpable, a new family forged through their collective dreams and dedication. The quiet of the storage room after the day's bustle felt like a serene pause in their ongoing adventure. Louise and Armando knew that their journey was far from over. Together, they would continue to nurture the restaurant's growth, celebrating every success and facing each challenge with the same passion and creativity that had brought them this far. In the days and months to come, Armando's restaurant would continue to thrive, not just as a place of great food and live music, but as a symbol of the power of collaboration, creativity, and the unbreakable bonds that can form when people come together with a shared vision. And Louise, Victoria, Armando, and Sophia would remain united, their lives forever intertwined by the extraordinary journey they had undertaken together. Victoria approached Louise with a radiant smile, her eyes shimmering with a mix of gratitude and admiration. As the restaurant's energy slowly wound down, their mutual understanding of the night's success and the future ahead created a palpable sense of connection between them. "You know," Victoria said softly, "tonight wouldn't have been the same without you. You brought something special to the restaurant, and it's not just about the food. It's about the atmosphere you helped create." Louise looked at her, his own eyes reflecting the warmth and satisfaction of the evening. It was a team effort. Your talent, Sophia's enthusiasm, and Armando's support were all vital. I'm just glad to be a part of it. Victoria's smile widened, her appreciation clear. "You've done more than just help. You've brought a new life to this place, and I'm grateful for that." They shared a moment of silence, each savoring the joy of their accomplishments and the possibilities that lay ahead. The restaurant, once a symbol of struggle, now represented hope and renewal, thanks to their collective efforts. As they prepared to close up, Armando's words echoed in Luis's mind. The expectation and responsibility of being a good son-in-law weighed on him, but it also filled him with a sense of purpose. He was determined to honor that trust, knowing that his commitment to Victoria went beyond their work at the restaurant. Victoria, noticing Luis's thoughtful expression, gently reached out and placed a hand on his arm. "Are you okay? You seem deep in thought." Luis smiled at her, his heart full. "I'm just thinking about how fortunate we are to have come this far. There's still a lot of work to do, but I'm excited about the future, and I'm committed to making sure we keep moving forward together." Victoria's eyes softened, touched by his sincerity. "Me too. We've built something really special here, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it leads us." As they locked up the restaurant and prepared to leave, a sense of optimism and unity enveloped them. The journey ahead would undoubtedly bring new challenges, but the foundation they had built, one of mutual respect, creativity, and heartfelt connection, promised a bright and promising future. Hand in hand, Louise and Victoria stepped out into the cool night air, ready to face whatever came next with the confidence that their shared dream would continue to flourish. The restaurant had become more than just a place of business. It had transformed into a symbol of their shared hopes, dedication, and the beginning of a new chapter in their lives. As we wrap up this heartwarming journey, we've witnessed the incredible transformation of Armando's restaurant from a struggling establishment to a vibrant and successful venue. Through creativity, dedication, and the power of music, Louise, Victoria, and Sophia have shown us how collaboration and passion can breathe new life into even the most challenging situations. We've seen how the bond between family and friends, combined with a shared vision, can lead to extraordinary outcomes. Each character has played a pivotal role in this transformation, proving that when we come together and support one another, we can achieve remarkable things. So, what have you learned from this story? How has it inspired you to approach your challenges and aspirations? Share with us in the comments below one thing you've learned from this journey and how you plan to apply it in your life. If you enjoyed this video and found it inspiring, please leave your comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more stories and insights that can help you in your personal and professional journey. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to bringing you more uplifting content. See you in the next video.